Late Night with the Devil is an absolutely brilliant new horror movie that's just released in theaters. I seen it last night and here's my review. So this horror movie is set in 1977, and what makes this really unique is that it's based on a TV show. David Dastmalchian is the lead character here, and he plays the talk show host, and he is hosting a late night show that has been running for many years, but his ratings are starting to drop, and near the end of his contract he decides on Halloween night, when sweepstakes, which is basically when the people vote for their favorite shows and stuff, he wants to do a really killer episode on Halloween that has some really cool tricks and twists that will grab the audience's attention. This is a really short horror movie. It's only like 88 minutes long, just comes in under an hour and a half, but it moves very fast, and I love the style of this. The cinematography is brilliant. I've not seen a horror movie like this in quite some time that really uses that 1970s aesthetic to make things look a lot more creepy. I mean, you've got like a static that's across the screen and a 1970s kind of grunge filter that really makes you feel like you are watching something from the 1970s. And the way that the movie is actually shown at the very start is that you, the audience member, is watching the unseen tapes of what actually happened on the talk show that night, and that kind of makes it a lot more creepy in my opinion. So the movie plays out as you probably expect. You know, it's a talk show segment, but then as an ad break comes on, we see kind of like a behind the scenes footage of what actually happened. And when it cuts to an ad break, the screen goes from a square, which is basically like a square TV format from the 1970s, as I mentioned with that static and stuff, to a black and white widescreen format that you'd be more used to seeing. And this fills in the gaps as to what's happening, but I have to say it's not very scary, but I don't think it's trying to be. As I said, David Dastmalchian is the lead, and I think he was very good here. I can't really say anything about who his character is and what his past is and why he is being terrorized on this show, but basically he brings on multiple characters, right? And one of them, for example, is a mind reader. The other one is like a skeptic who is trying to prove that ghosts and stuff are all real and that hypnotism is kind of the way to go in this day and age. And then you've got basically the two main characters, which is Dr. June and Lily. And basically Dr. June is basically like, I don't know, like an exorciser. Is that the word you'd use? An exorcist? An exorcist. There you go. She's an exorcist. And Lily is a kid who's 13 years old, and she has been basically born into a satanic cult. And I can't really say anything else because that would be spoilers. But you know, there's twists and turns here from start to finish, and I think it does a really good job of gripping you in, and it did remind me a lot of WandaVision. I know that sounds very strange, but you know, WandaVision was portrayed as like this TV show, and it goes through the early 50s all the way up, and I thought that it was really well done in this, and just kind of the creepiness factor is pretty cool as well. As I said though, not very scary. I would have loved it to be a lot more scarier. I think that would have really been the icing on the cake, but I think the tension, I think the uniqueness, the cinematography, the soundtrack and the sound design is perfect for the time period that it's set in. The acting performances, and overall just a really short and snappy fun horror movie. This is one that you've definitely not seen before, and I don't think we'll probably see anything like it that's this unique. And I think the format paid off for them, and that is why I'm going to give Late Night with the Devil 4 stars and 8 out of 10. Go and see it. I know it is a horror, it will put people off, but I do think that it is actually engaging enough for a lot more people to be able to see it that aren't horror fans. It's definitely something that is unique, fun, and quite bonkers, and that's what makes it really, really good.